Okay, so get this. A global gathering of Black creatives all in one place to, like, chart the course of Black storytelling
Yeah.
for the next century.
Sounds pretty epic, right?
Yeah. And it's exactly what's happening at the International Black Theater Summit in 2025. And you sent us all the details, so we're going to take a deep dive into it all.
What's really cool is this summit isn't just about, traditional theater. We're talking film, television, digital media, even technology.
Oh,
it's like a total convergence of Black narratives across every platform imaginable.
That's amazing. And where's this all happening?
Accra, Ghana.
Wow, Accra, we've got your registration confirmation, the event guide, and even that YouTube Q&A video you mentioned. So yeah, let's dive in.
The theme really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
Building creative and cultural connections over the first decade of the next 100 years. Old, right?
For sure.
And it all revolves around this idea of ancestral intelligence.
Ancestral intelligence. Okay, now that's definitely piqued my interest. What does that even mean in this context?
It's about recognizing, I think, this deep well of wisdom and creativity that flows from Black history and heritage.
I see.
And the summit is really encouraging us to draw inspiration from our ancestors, to learn from their struggles, their triumphs, and to kind of use that knowledge to shape the future of Black storytelling.
Wow. So it's not just about looking back, but like using the past to move forward.
Precisely. And to understand how important the summit really is, we need to go back a bit.
But
Back in 1996, August Wilson, the legendary playwright.
Wait, August Wilson, the fences and the piano lesson guy.
That's the one.
Wow, I love his work.
He delivered this keynote address. It really shook the theater world.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The speech was called The Ground on Which I Stand.
Okay.
And it was this fearless critique of the racial inequities within, the American theater system.
Nice.
Wilson tackled everything, really. The lack of funding, lack of opportunities for Black artists, the misrepresentation and erasure of Black narratives on stage. It sparked a national conversation.
Wow.
And it paved the way for the very first Black Theater Summit back in 1998.
So the IBTS is like continuing that legacy, building on the foundation laid by Wilson and other, visionaries.
Exactly. And choosing Ghana as the location for the 2025 summit adds another layer of meaning, I think.
Ghana. Yeah, it's not just some random location, is it?
Definitely not.
So what's the connection between Ghana and Ancestral Intelligence?
Well, Ghana has a special place in the Pan-African movement, a movement that emphasizes the shared history and unity of people of African descent worldwide.
Right.
And holding the summit in Accra with its rich cultural heritage and historical significance allows participants to connect with their roots,
So it sounds like attending this summit isn't just about professional development. It's almost a journey of, like, cultural immersion and ancestral connection. Okay, I'm hooked already. But tell me more about the summit itself. Like, what are they hoping to achieve?
Think of the IBTS as a giant think tank. A space for participants from all over the world to come together, to strategize, to collaborate on the future of Black storytelling.
Got it.
They've structured the summit around 5 core pillars to kind of guide those discussions.
5 pillars. Okay. I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. What are they?
So the first pillar is practice and performance. It's all about the craft of storytelling, the techniques, the tools, the nuances that bring these stories to life.
So everything from writing compelling scripts to delivering powerful performances?
Exactly. The second pillar is education in and through the arts. It focuses on, the importance of arts education.
Okay.
Both in formal settings like schools and universities, and in community-based programs.
Makes sense. Nurturing the next generation of storytellers is, like, super important.
Oh, absolutely. Then there's the third pillar, finance. Might seem a bit dry, but it's absolutely essential. It's about exploring sustainable funding models, supporting Black-owned production companies, and ensuring that Black creatives, they have the resources they need to actually thrive.
Practical stuff. So we've got the creative side, the educational side, and the financial foundation. What about the last 2 pillars?
The fourth is marketing and public relations. This is about getting Black stories out into the world, amplifying their reach, ensuring they're seen and heard by a wider audience.
Making sure those stories don't just get lost in the noise.
Exactly. And finally, the 5th pillar, cross-cultural collaboration. This one highlights the global nature of the summit. It's about fostering connections between Black creatives from different countries, different backgrounds, encouraging the sharing of ideas and experiences.
It sounds like they've really thought this through, creating like a framework for a truly holistic experience,
Yeah.
one that is impactful.
They have. And these pillars aren't just theoretical concepts. They're going to be explored through a diverse range of programs and discussions.
Okay, this is all incredibly exciting, but let's be practical for a minute. Attending an international summit like this, it's a big commitment. You know, time, money, what kind of investment are we talking about here?
That's a great question. And it's something that potential attendees really need to consider carefully. There are 2 registration options, each with a different price point and different level of access.
Okay, so break those options down for us. What are we looking at?
The first option is the full IBTS registration, which costs $400, plus a $10 processing fee.
And what does that full registration get you?
Access to the entire summit experience. All the programming, the performances, your choice of one of those one-day excursions, most meals, even a discounted hotel rate at the Best Western Plus Accra Beach Hotel.
Wow.
They also provide travel support and a 1-year membership to create Ensemble. It's an online platform for Black creatives.
That's pretty comprehensive. And they estimated the total cost, including things like airfare and lodging, to be around $3,500.
Yeah, but keep in mind that's just an estimate. You know, the actual cost will vary depending on your travel arrangements and spending habits.
Of course, that makes sense. What about the other registration option? What's that all about?
They call it the basic travel package, and it's designed for, well, those who might not be able to attend all of the summit programming,
Yeah,
but still want to experience Ghana and connect with the IBTS community.
makes sense.
It's much more affordable, just $100 plus a $10 processing fee.
So what's included in that package?
It focuses primarily on travel support, access to discounted hotel rates, and those pre- and post-summit excursions to other regions of Ghana. It also helps subsidize travel for Ghanaian artists.
Oh, that's great. It's great that they've created an option that's more accessible, you know, for people who want to be a part of the experience in different ways.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the International Black Theater Summit 2025.
We've covered the inspirational goals, the unique structure of the summit, but now it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Yeah, time for the practical stuff.
Exactly. We've been teasing all the incredible experiences waiting in Ghana, but let's equip you with the essential travel knowledge to actually get there smoothly.
And thankfully, from what I see in these source materials, we've got a wealth of information to unpack. Everything from visas to currency exchange.
Perfect. Let's start with that big one, the one that seems to cause, like, the most anxiety for travelers.
Visas.
Visas.
Yes.
What do we need to know about securing a visa for Ghana?
Okay, so first things first, you'll need a valid passport.
Of course.
But not just any valid passport. It needs to be valid for at least 6 months after your planned return date.
Got it. So double check that expiration date. Exactly.
Okay, passport validity check. What's next in the visa process?
The application itself.
Okay.
The earliest you can apply is January 15th, 2025. So mark your calendars.
Noted. January 15th, 2025. Now, I remember seeing something in the YouTube Q&A about needing a special letter for the application.
Yes, the visa letter. This is crucial. The IBTS will provide it after you register for the summit.
Okay.
It basically confirms your participation and is essential for your visa application. So make sure you have that letter in hand before you even think about going to the Ghanaian consulate.
Got it. Visa letter. Check. All right, so we've got the passport, application timeline, and the visa letter. What else is, like, mission critical for a smooth trip?
Health requirements.
Oh, right, of course.
Yellow fever vaccination. That's mandatory for entry into Ghana. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You'll need to prove you've been vaccinated to even board the plane.
Yellow fever vaccination, check. Anything else? Health.
What about the financial side of things?
Right.
What's the currency in Ghana? And what's the best way to handle money matters there?
The local currency is the Ghanaian cedi. But here's a tip straight from the YouTube Q&A. Bring clean U.S. dollar bills. In denominations of $50 you'll get the best exchange rates. And exchange your money gradually throughout your trip.
Interesting. So cash is king in Ghana.
For a lot of things, yes. You can usually use credit cards in shops and bigger establishments. But cash is better for smaller purchases, transportation, and tipping.
Good to know. Cash it is. Now, while we're talking practical tips, what about electricity? Will our devices work over there?
Ghana uses power sockets, DNG, different from standard U.S. plugs. So, pack a universal adapter. One with multiple USB ports would be ideal.
Great tip. Wouldn't want to be stuck with a dead phone in a foreign country.
Uh,
All right, so we've tackled the major logistical hurdles, but what about those little details? Any advice on navigating Ghana itself, getting around, local customs, things like that?
Oh yeah, the YouTube Q&A was full of great advice on this. Transportation, Uber, and Bolt are your go-to options for getting around Accra. They're convenient, pretty affordable, and you'll usually find a ride quickly.
That's easy enough. Any tips on using those apps in Ghana specifically?
Pay with cash if you can. It just makes things a lot smoother.
Cash for rides? Check. What about tipping?
Tipping is definitely customary, especially for drivers, guides, restaurant servers. 10% is a good rule of thumb.
Got it. 10% for good service. What about other local customs or etiquette we should be aware of?
Pack light clothing, stuff for warm weather. Ghana can get pretty hot and humid.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else for the packing list?
Comfortable walking shoes are essential. You'll be doing a lot of walking, so make sure your shoes are up to the task.
Noted. Comfortable shoes? Check. Any other words of wisdom before we move on?
One more thing about the visa application. The Q&A emphasized that all applications need to be mailed in, even if you live near the consulate in D.C. or New York. No more in-person applications, so plan accordingly.
Got it. Mailing it is. So, we've covered a ton of ground here. Passports, visas, vaccinations, currency exchange, transportation, even local customs. We've practically packed our bags already.
Right. Now that you're equipped with all the knowledge to navigate the logistics, let's shift our focus back to the heart of this journey.
The summit itself. Let's delve deeper into the themes, the goals, and the potential impact of this gathering of Black creatives. Join us for part 3 as we explore what the IBTS truly means for you, our listener. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've talked about the International Black Theater Summit's origins, the 5 pillars, and even how to travel to Ghana.
But now it's time to bring it all home.
Yeah. Even if someone can't make it to Accra in 2025, the ideas and conversations at the IBTS, they'll have a ripple effect. That goes way beyond the summit.
It's like planting a seed, The summit provides the ground, and the ideas shared there. They have the potential to blossom and grow and impact Black storytelling for years to come.
I like that. So what does the IBTS mean for people who might not be going, but are still invested in Black narratives?
The IBTS can be a lens, I think.
Okay.
Focusing our attention on the role of Black storytelling in the world. And it makes us think critically about how we engage with those stories and how we can contribute to, to their creation and celebration.
So it's like a wake-up call.
Yeah. It makes you pause and think about your own media consumption, your support of Black creatives, your role in amplifying those voices.
And that's a good point. So how do we put that awareness into action?
Start by diversifying your media diet.
Okay.
Seek out books by Black authors, films by Black directors, plays by Black playwrights.
Got it.
Make an effort to engage with those stories.
So expanding our horizons.
Yeah.
Challenging our own preconceived notions.
Absolutely. And don't just consume those stories passively. Engage with them critically, analyze the themes, appreciate the nuances, and understand the historical and social context.
So it's a journey of discovery and education.
It is. And it's about sharing those discoveries. Talk about the books, the films, the plays with your friends, family, colleagues. Spread the word and amplify those voices.
Word of mouth. It's powerful.
It is. And take that engagement a step further. Become an advocate for Black storytelling. Support organizations that nurture Black creatives.
So, putting our money where our mouth is?
Yeah, basically. Donate to a theater company. Contribute to a crowdfunding campaign.
What about holding larger institutions accountable?
Absolutely. Demand more representation.
Yeah.
Challenge those who have excluded Black voices.
Speak up. Write letters. Make your voice heard.
Exactly. Black storytelling isn't a niche interest. It's part of the human experience. It deserves to be celebrated on a global scale.
It's about the richness, the diversity, the resilience of Black culture.
And the IBTS is showing us the work being done to elevate those stories and create a more inclusive future for Black creatives.
We may not be in Accra, but we can still be part of this. We can still shape the next chapter of Black storytelling.
So here's a question for our listeners. What legacy do you want to leave behind? How will you use your voice, your platform, your resources to support Black storytelling?
That's powerful. It makes you think about your own actions.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to encourage you to keep the conversation going.
Yeah. Explore the resources on the CRFT Institute's website. Connect with other Black creatives. Find your own way to contribute.
Because Black storytelling matters.
And its future is in our hands.
Thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations going.
Until next time.